It is the northernmost country in North America and the inspiration for the whole world. It is the largest country in the Americas by land area and the largest country in the world after Russia. Canada is literally a winter paradise with its wonderful parks and natural geography. It is often compared to its neighboring United States in law, technology, and economic fields. Canadians say that they feel closer to British and French culture than to American culture. Although most people think that the capital of the country is Toronto, in fact, the capital of the country is Ottawa, located in the same province, and the population of Canada is 38 million people. Canada is one of the most livable countries in the world in terms of job opportunities, and economic, political, and human security. It is not a problem for people, and Canada is a country whose national income is above the world standard. This country, which is at the top of the world in the technological field, is the world's largest. Is among the top 10 economies. This country invests a lot in the environment and people, with high export revenues and high national income. Because of this, the country has lower rates of theft and violent crime than the rest of the world. Is quite low. Almost all Canadians have their own houses with large gardens. If you live in this country, you were probably able to stay happy even during the pandemic. Because the Canadian government paid 2,000 Canadian dollars a month to its citizens who could not earn money due to the pandemic. Canadians love the color green and nature so much that building houses are forbidden in the majority of their territory because they do not want to spoil nature. You can only build in the sections authorized by the state. It is especially forbidden to touch forest land. The majority of the population lives in the province of Ontario. Toronto, for example, is the most populous city in Ontario and Canada. 2,500,000 people live in Toronto. And he lives his life. The city is enormous in size and very developed. The average salary in Toronto is $62,000, 14% higher than the Canadian average of $54,450. However, high immigration in recent years. Due to this, there has been a real estate problem in Toronto, and there has been a significant increase in real estate prices. The most in-demand occupations in Toronto are that earning between $90,000 and $120,000 per year. Are a software developer and financial analyst profession in the Canadian dollar salary range because Toronto is considered the financial capital of Canada and is scattered all over the city. Large companies need financial experts. If you are good with numbers, Toronto could be the right place for you. Moreover, the average annual earnings of financial analysts between 50,000 and 80,000 Canadian dollars. Canada is a very big country. That is why the largest land border in the world is the border between the United States and Canada. 8,000 kilometers. This border. To give you an idea of its size, if you want to travel by road from Portugal to Estonia in Europe, you have to travel about 4,000 kilometers. Canada and the United States of America are exactly twice that. Another thing that makes Canada stand out in the world is that it is the fourth country with the largest oil reserves in the world after Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. It is also the only country, and one of the few countries to send satellites into space. If you want to go outside Europe to study, Canada is definitely a country you should investigate. Because university education in Canada is above world standards. People who have graduated from Canadian universities and colleges have been very successful in their professions and have achieved very good positions. Canada also offers many scholarships for immigrant students. In this case, many people from all over the world move to Canada to study. Immigrants often describe Canadians as tolerant and friendly. There is no single official language in the country. Canada has two official languages: English and French. Almost all of the country. In the province of Quebec, people speak French, while in all of them, English is spoken. You can get along with people in Quebec province in English only, but some of the province. You have to remember that he doesn't speak English. In Canada, as in the Netherlands and Iceland, same-sex marriage is fully legal. The official currency in Canada is the Canadian dollar, and $1 Canadian is worth about 70 cents. Religious. Christians make up more than half of the population. Canada has unusual features that distinguish it from European countries in general. For example, the majority of the world's polar bears live in this land. Even polar bears can come into the city when it is hungry. For this reason, in some provinces, people often leave their houses and car doors unlocked to escape a possible bear attack. The situation seems very serious because in Canada, in the province of Manitoba, there is even a prison for polar bears. Canada has the majority of the world's forests and is a unique lake paradise. Canada is also home to the famous Niagara Waterfall. This waterfall comes from the Northern Hemisphere, formed by depressions created by incoming ice flows, and is thought to have a history of 12,000 years. This country is also called a dinosaur paradise. Alberta. The state park has many dinosaur fossils on display and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The dinosaur fossils in the museum are thought to be 100 million years old. This is not all that makes Canada interesting. Yonge Street in Toronto is the longest street in the world and is 1,896 kilometers long. If you have ever been to the north of the world, it is normal to come across the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights can be seen in some of the Canadian provinces, and for this reason alone, they are the highlight of the year. Receive millions of tourist visits at certain times. Canada is one of the starting points of Christmas. Every year at Christmas time, millions of letters are sent to Canada from many parts of the world, especially children who send their Christmas wishes in these letters. And it's returned in up to 30 languages. Basketball is a completely Canadian sport. But the sport that stands out more than soccer and basketball in the country is ice hockey. It's called the national sport. While all this is very nice, if you don't like the cold climate, you may not want to stay in Canada for a long time. Because Canada is one of the coldest countries in the world. In fact, it has a colder climate than the Scandinavian countries. In winter, temperatures can drop to -40 degrees below zero. But in winter, the average winter temperature is considered to be -25 degrees below zero. Tourists and students, especially those from warmer climates, are exposed to the cold climate of Canada. Problems. But some Canadian businessmen have managed to turn this situation into an opportunity. Canada is home to some of the most unusual hotels in the world. This country is home to tons of hotels made of ice and snow. Canada is one of the countries you should visit with these features. If you admire the natural life and like the cold climate, you will earn by working. You can live a happy life in this country with high incomes. If you like my video, please like and comment, and if you want to watch more videos like this one, you can subscribe to my channel. See you soon.